Whenever I see a movie, my eye always flicks straight to the writing credits. Firstly, because I think pretty much every good film starts with a good script, but it's also a quick and easy way to tell if the script has been made by committee or the work of one creative mind. And that's important to me as I'm a writer. Honestly, I've got paychecks to prove it. And I created this channel to document my attempts to get a feature film made from one of my scripts. And to all of those people who bug me about it, I'm still working on it. Thanks for asking. So I thought I should explain how the writing credits on a movie actually work. The information which is about to follow is basically the Writers Guild of America's rules. It doesn't apply to films made outside of the Union or outside of America, but it does work as a sort of framework that even non-Union films often copy.
Ingrid, what are you doing back in town so soon?
Bob, who are those people in my apartment?
I sublet it.
You sublet my apartment?
Just short term. I was gonna split the money with you, I promise.
Who are they?
You know, they're like us.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Broke.
Let's start with the story by credit. This is the person who came up with the idea of the film. They either wrote an early draft of the script which later got rewritten by somebody else, and the final draft looks nothing like the original one, or they wrote a treatment, which is a document between 5 and 20 pages, laying out the characters and plot. You know when your friend tries to tell you all about a movie in about 10 minutes? Yeah, well, it's like that, but in written form.
Knew, because what happened was I was going around cars, but then this whole thing happened because Shelley told us the bitch. Anyway, I've been completely going around saying that Destiny stole money out of Rochelle's purse, but I ain't not even spoken to Rochelle because she flicked Ash Michaela's hair.
If a writer has written a treatment, they can sell that idea to a studio. But if for some reason or another they can't commit to writing the screenplay, someone else can write the actual script.
You're confused. You need guidance? Talk to another writer.
Who?
Oh, Jesus. You throw a rock in here, you'll hit one.
Screen story is not a credit that you see very often, but it's used when a film is based on another property, like a series of books or a computer game, but it doesn't follow the plot of the specific piece of the source material. So, for example, Men in Black is based on a comic book of the same name, and the movie uses a lot of elements from the comic, but not the actual plot. That was written by Ed Solomon.
Eat me! Eat me!
Screen story or story by credits are followed by the screenplay credit. This person or people are the ones who actually wrote the script they took to set every day. If it says written by rather than screenplay by, it means the writer came up with the story and the script. And this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. The WGA says a maximum of 3 people can be credited on a screenplay unless they're a part of a writing partnership.
You think Henry Miller lived in a luxury condo on the Boulevard Saint Germain? No. He was broken and shaven, like me.
If 2 or more writers are credited on a film and it uses an ampersand between their names, then those writers worked together. They thrashed out the dialogue between them, they worked on scene structure, the text was a collaboration, and according to the WGA, that makes them count as one writer. If the writers' names are separated by the word and, then that means the second writer has rewritten the text of the first. They may never have met, but almost certainly the first of those names will hold a grudge against the names that follow it. Sometimes it can be a mix of the two, as you can see from these credits. This is the Michael Keaton movie Jack Frost. So we can see Mark Steven Johnson originated the script. It was then rewritten by Steve Bloom and Jonathan Roberts as a pair, so that counts as one person, and then that was rewritten by Jeff Sesterio.
What is that? What is that? You know? What is that? What is it? What is violence? What is it? You know, that's what the movie's about.
The big studios will often get many drafts done of a screenplay before it makes it to the screen. It's not unusual for a script to have passed through many writers' hands before it gets made. So when the author of a script is unclear, it has to go to arbitration, where the Writers Guild analyses the different drafts of the script and judge the percentile of each writer's work which is in the final draft. The first writer is normally the person who's originated the script, and the writers that follow that name after the word and have to have written 33% to get a credit. If they change more than 66% of the script, then the original writer gets bumped down to a story by credit, and those secondary writers get screenplay by credits. If a production needs a scene or two rewritten in the middle of filming, or some dialogue polished, they might get another writer in to do it, and that work will be uncredited. Carrie Fisher apparently did a lot of rewriting on Tinkerbell scenes in the movie Hook, and the comedian Mort Sahl wrote a lot of the jokes for the remake of Sabrina. The percentiles one has to write to get credited does change depending on the production, but on the whole it's 1/3, unless you're the director when it's 2/3. I'm told that scripts often come back from rewrites over-rewritten. That's because some hopeful is just trying to get a credit.
Y'all wish me luck. Snatch and run, y'all! Go back here, you motherfucker! You son of a bitch! Y'all want drama? Wanna make it scary?
This is the horror movie spoof Scary Movie, which came out in the year 2000. It credits 4 writers with ampersands: Sean and Marlon Wayans, Buddy Johnson and Phil Bowman. They'd all previously worked on the Wayans Brothers TV show and subsequently worked together on this script. But there are 2 more writers credited, Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer, the duo which are now famous for kickstarting the Movie spoof series. Apparently they were developing a parody of the movie Scream for Miramax at the time, and because of the similarities in the scripts and the fact that they were working for the same company, the WGA awarded Freeberg and Seltzer a credit, which they have been coasting off ever since.
Suddenly, there was a terrible roar all around us, and the sky was full of what looked like huge bats, all swooping and screeching and diving around the car. And a voice was screaming, "Holy Jesus, where are these goddamn animals?"
This is the Terry Gilliam film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson. The writing credit on this one is a little more complicated. The book was originally going to be made into a film by Alex Cox, who co-wrote the screenplay with Todd Davies, but that production fell through and Alex Cox walked away. A short while later, Terry Gilliam was offered the job of directing. He liked the book but didn't like the script. So after accepting the position, he wrote his own script with Tony Grassoni. But the Writers Guild of America awarded sole writing credits to Todd Davis and Alex Cox. Despite the fact that this was a page 1 rewrite, they ruled that it didn't substantially change the original draft. So Tony and Terry appealed, and apparently they spent more time on the appeal than they did on the script. But in that document they laid out the case that if a script is based on another medium, in this case a book, and they stick closely to the source material, then it stands to reason there would be similarities in the text. It won over the powers that be, and Gilliam and Grassoni are credited first, but not solely.
Over in Hollywood, the writers' strike is officially finished. As of midnight, writers were free to return to work after the writers' union's leadership agreed to a 3-year deal with major movie studios. The agreement, which still needs to be ratified by the union's 11,500 members, would increase residuals for streaming content, boost pay by up to 5%, and raise health and pension contributions. It also includes specific guidelines for safeguards over the use of artificial intelligence.
On the whole, I think the Writers Guild of America does a pretty good job protecting the originator of a script from losing their credit against people who like to change things for change's sake. But it is my personal opinion that the least amount of writers to work on a script, the better. My name's Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.